In today's digital world, education is no longer confined to classrooms. Screens, platforms, and algorithms shape how we learn, connect, and even feel. But many educators and parents worry. Has new media begun to erode the humanistic and relational essence of holistic education? This concern is not unfounded. It stems from observations about the potential alienation, superficiality, and negative impact on interpersonal relationships and emotional development that technology may bring. In many discussions about new media and learning, a central concern is whether the integration of technology weakens the emotional bonds between teachers and students, and among peers, connections that holistic education holds in high regard. Holistic education emphasizes cultivating the integrity of the individual across multiple dimensions, including intellectual, emotional, social, physical, and spiritual aspects. Its humanistic and relational core lies in valuing each student's uniqueness and fostering growth through authentic interpersonal interactions. However, the characteristics of new media, such as anonymity, virtuality, and rapid pace, seem to run counter to this educational philosophy emphasizing deep human connections. Consequently, the new media disruption theory has gained widespread resonance in educational circles, particularly among advocates of holistic education. In fact, the notion that new media undermines holistic education rests upon several implicit assumptions. First, that genuine relationships can only exist face-to-face. It assumes that empathy, trust, and warmth must rely on physical presence. However, in digital spaces, new forms of nonverbal cues, emojis, tone, even silence, can also convey care and emotion. Moreover, they provide a more inclusive space for expression for introverted students, those with language barriers or marginalized groups. Second, that technology's instrumental rationality suppresses human values. This view presupposes that new media's algorithmic recommendations and data-driven approaches will trap education in an efficiency-first mindset, measuring learning outcomes by test accuracy rates or video viewing duration, thereby neglecting core holistic education goals. Yet this hypothesis overlooks human agency. Technology's impact hinges entirely on how we design, utilize, and regulate it. A caring teacher can leverage technological tools to better support each student, rather than being alienated by technology. Tools are neutral. The underlying educational philosophy and pedagogy are what truly matter. Third, the experiential integrity holistic education must reject technological mediation. It assumes holistic education requires immersive, coherent learning experiences, while short videos and fragmented information from new media fragment knowledge systems. But immersive technologies like VR and AI can reconstruct authentic experiences, allowing students to travel into historical events or simulate experiments once impossible. Finally, that traditional schooling represents the perfect model. It assumes that past educational methods such as teacher-led classrooms, print reading, and in-person group activities already perfectly addressed holistic educational needs, viewing new media's introduction as a subversion of tradition rather than a complementary enhancement. Yet online collaboration allows students from different cultures to connect, broadening empathy, responsibility, and global citizenship. These assumptions persist because they stem from genuine experiences. Many educators or parents encountering new media for the first time in education view it as a substitute for face-to-face teaching, such as static online worksheets and pre-recorded lectures, rather than a tool for enhancing interaction. When these applications fail to replicate the warmth of face-to-face human interaction, people generally conclude that new media and relational learning are incompatible. Meanwhile, negative stories such as cyberbullying, distraction, and isolation spread faster than positive ones. This imbalance reinforces the idea that new media harms relational and humanistic goals. Moreover, we must not overlook the vested interests driving the propagation of this notion. First are practitioners within the traditional education system, including some teachers, school administrators, and even certain education researchers. For them, the digital teaching methods, AI tutors, and high-quality online courses enabled by new media have, to some extent, eroded their monopoly on knowledge and irreplaceable role. By dismissing the educational value of technology, they can preserve their status and maintain professional authority at the core of education. The second group comprises the traditional education industry, including print textbook publishers and offline training institutions. Their business models have long relied on physical classrooms and tangible products. Yet the rise of new media, digital textbooks, online cultural courses, and even VR humanities experiences, is redistributing educational resources, promoting the narrative that new media undermines holistic education, indirectly protects their economic interests and survival space. The third group comprises scholars and social organizations within the field of technology criticism. Their research often centers on topics such as technological alienation and media crisis. This argument not only validates their long-standing theoretical positions but also enhances their influence and voice in public discourse and educational policy. From a certain perspective, they are not entirely wrong. These critiques do serve as a warning against blind technological worship. Yet we must also recognize that they operate within a specific knowledge power field. Their voices gain prominence not only through their arguments but also through access to academic resources, alignment with prevailing social agendas, and media attention. In summary, the belief that new media undermines the humanistic and relational core of holistic education reveals genuine challenges facing education in the digital age, yet it may also represent an overly simplistic and pessimistic conclusion. The purpose of criticism is not to reject entirely but to build. By critically deconstructing this belief and actively exploring alternative practices, we can transform new media into a powerful tool for advancing holistic education rather than its adversary. This requires maintaining an open, prudent, and innovative attitude while steadfastly upholding the humanistic foundation of education within an ever-evolving technological landscape.